Welcome to Behind the Business. Today's guest is Amy Kwizera, the heart behind Blossom and Root Design Flower Farm. And not only is she growing a beautiful business, but she's also newly married. We'll dive into her journey, the lessons she's learned, and how she's balancing flowers, farming, and love. Let's get started. Hello, Amy.
Hello, Noah.
Yeah, so welcome to Behind the Business. It's great to have you. Um, can you share with us how you came up with the name Blossom and Root Design for your flower farm? Because it's a little bit, to be honest, it's a hard name. It's a good name. I love it, but also it's interesting because it's like when people start their businesses, they name them like Amy's Flowers, but you choose such a like a meaningful name. What does that mean to you, and why did you choose that name?
I chose it because I was trying to incorporate, okay, what are flowers to us? And in like a flower farm business, like we don't only deal with the flower, like the blossom itself, but also the roots. And so it was like blossom and roots are both very important. So it was like, that's kind of like blossom and root design. That seems so fun. And so, yeah, that's why I chose it because roots are just as important as the blossom.
So is that like a message you wanted to give to the people, or was it just the your own personal reasons why you chose it? Like, was it a
Um,
message you want to spread out? Like,
Maybe a little bit like you can't just have a flower without a good root system. So it could very well have been because I talk to people constantly about good soil and good root systems and stuff like that. So yes.
so what's I'm curious about this. What's one thing about starting a flower farm that surprised you the most?
How hard it is to convince people that they need flowers. Okay, that's not true. But like actually probably one of the hardest things is how most people think that they can just get them. Like they don't understand the cost and why I would charge what I do. Um, and really, I think the biggest thing that I have learned in them is like um, your clients become your friends. Your friends do not become your clients. And that was really hard for me to learn. Um, my friends are not like the friends I had, they're not my clients, but my clients have become my friends.
That's good. I feel I know for sure because flowers can grow naturally. People don't take like how much work you spend on your flowers, like the irrigation that you do, the raised beds that you make, the soil, the fertilizers that you get. Like they think it's just something that grows naturally, so
Yes.
they expect you to be like, oh, you can come anytime and
Yes.
get the flowers,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
they
that's what
forget that there is a labor behind the beautiful flower farm
yes.
that you.
Yeah, what they don't realize is that I already have bought most of my stuff for 2025 season. And so now in the next few weeks, I'll be getting like orders of bulbs in and stuff like that. And I'll be planting. I'm going to trial run some different plants to see if I can like plant them this fall, to see if I can have like an early crop next year. It could be a fail. I could be out of money. But it's a trial. It's a trial that I'm going to try and we'll see. And hopefully it works. And I'll have flowers by like May and June instead of July. So we'll see.
When did you start again the business?
So officially 2021, I believe. But was planting flowers for a few years before that and enjoying them myself, but not selling.
So, what inspired you to start a flower farm? Because I feel like I know you, and you probably would have started a coffee shop because you love coffee too. Why did you?
Well, I always said I'm gonna sell flowers and coffee. I'm gonna have a coffee shop that has lots of plants and flowers. And if that doesn't work, then I'll have a therapist there. So, people. that, so that's still kind of like a little thing. Like I used to kind of say it as a joke, but I'm like, oh, if flowers and coffee can't fix it, then a therapist can help you fix your problem. But so wait, what did you ask?
What inspired you like to start a
Oh,
flower farm?
my dad, I think so. Actually, lots of things, but my dad instilled in me the love of flowers. He loves flowers. He loves beauty, and he was always like very like encouraging and like I was like, hey dad, I would love to like try to sell some flowers. I didn't know it was possible. So I remember like the first time that I did it, I just took like some of my parents' garden and planted like two rows of flowers. And I started following some flower farmers on Instagram. And there was this one flower farmer in Montana. And he would do workshops. And I went to his workshop in 2021. And then I saw that he tagged a flower farmer. And her username was SD something. Farmette, something. Flower Farmette or something. And I realized that she actually lived like an hour and a half from here. And I saw that she had a flower farm. I thought you couldn't have flower farms in our state. I just thought the weather was weird, whatever. And I saw she had one. And I was like, well, she can do it. I can do it. And I remember one time I saw her in Target. Like maybe it was like the first year that she was doing her business. And I saw her and I remember feeling like I was in the presence of like a great person. I like wanted to be like, hi, like I'm obsessed with your business, but I was too shy and too scared. But so like seeing her doing it, and then I went to a workshop in Montana, and that really inspired me to really go all in. And the next year I planted lots more flowers. So. Yeah.
This podcast is sponsored by Blossom Root Design. Experience the beauty of fresh, seasonal bouquets, sharing joy through locally grown flowers. Amy, a talented floral designer based in South Dakota, crafts each arrangement with care and creativity.
What was your first step that you took?
First step?
Do you remember the first thing that you did the day you decided, hey, this can become a business?
Oh, I know what I did. I immediately took a flower class from Erin. I always forget the last name, but Floret Farm, I think is what it's called. She is from Washington, and she has all sorts of classes. And I did her seed starting class, and then I ordered all my seeds, I think, from her, and I started my seeds that winter in March. I started my seeds.
Do you remember what your biggest challenges were then, and how you overcame them? Like, because people think like everything was laid down for you, like you started as big as your business is now. Like, what were the challenges? Like, the first month or week that you started working?
There's lots of challenges. Some days, like, like this spring, it was so wet, and then I started some flowers on our new property, and it felt like whatever the bugs weren't eating, the rabbits were eating, and whatever wasn't washing away, it was a big challenge. And I remember like feeling like I was in the depths of despair. Like I almost wanted to give up. And then the sun came out and the flowers started blooming. And the bunnies destroyed my one crop, completely destroyed. I didn't get one stem of whatever it was. But yet it was just like not giving up. See, I have this thing, you plant enough of flowers so that if some die, no one will notice, kind of, So that's just what I try to do. And if I get challenged, I'm like, challenge accepted. I will try. And like, just for instance, like this is my third year planting sweet peas. It's my first year harvesting sweet peas because every single year they would just die. And I almost gave up, but then this year they survived. I had the most beautiful sweet peas, and now I'm gonna have so many sweet peas next season. I am so excited.
So how do you keep pushing forward then? Like, it sounds like it's a lot of patience and trust. I mean, I'm not a farmer, so I don't know, but that's what it sounds like to me. how do you keep pushing forward? Like,
The thought of there's always next season. So whatever mistakes happen this year or things, next season, I can try again. Or I won't do that. Or I'll redo this. And the thought of having flowers next season. And also, really the joy that flowers bring to people, like especially to little children, that really keeps me going. And weddings. I love weddings and events. Yeah.
so what has been your proudest moment so far that you feel like you would never forget so far that you've since 2021 we are now 2024?
Proudest moment.
Yeah, maybe it's an event that you were.
Maybe my own wedding. Like, that was so stressful, but pulling off my own wedding, I didn't do all the flowers, but like the flowers that I did was hundreds of flowers, like insane amount of flowers. I think that was probably, and like literally, like I had to deliver them the day of the wedding, so that was a little bit crazy. So I think that was maybe my proudest moment, which sounds so cliche, but that or just I don't know. Also, you picks have been so much fun, like letting people come on the farm and seeing the beauty that has been.
So how do you differentiate yourself in the market? Because there's a lot of women that do the same thing as you do.
Actually, wait 1 second. The proudest moment that I had is last year. I buy plugs, like flower plugs, from a company in Pennsylvania. And my asters were so tall and so healthy that this plug company reached out to me and wanted to do an interview on how I raise these because everyone else has such a problem. Like a lot of people have a problem with them, like they're very short and stuff like that. And like going on to that interview with them, and now they use some of the stuff that I gave them on their like selling thing, like where they go to sell, like on their website. Some of the info that I gave them on how I grow it is on there now. So that was probably my proudest moment, is that I did it, and I didn't even know I did it until that day that she reached out. So that was a pretty proud moment.
Yeah. To the question that I was saying, how do you differentiate yourself on the market out there? Because there's a lot of women that do flowers. So what's the unique thing you?
Try to be prettier than everyone else. No, okay, that sounds so arrogant. But no, I try to make sure that I put out quality, like quality over quantity. I would rather have fewer bouquets to sell, but make sure that they're all nice. Like bouquets that I would want on my kitchen table. So for me, it's very much quality over quantity. Yeah, and just like always making sure that what I put out is truly beautiful. And like I care, like even like when I go to plant flowers, like I don't just plant things that I wouldn't want or colors that I hate. I don't plant those. I quit that. I think this year is the first year that I can say that I truly planted only colors and things that I love. And honestly, I felt like I sold the flowers better because when I created, I was like, I love this. And I felt like people could sense that. So
this podcast is brought to you by SD Millwork, your go-to source for custom trim and interior doors. Enhance your space with our expertly crafted products designed to add elegance and style to any home.
Let's talk about you are an entrepreneur and you have your personal life. So running a flower farm can be demanding and you have to spend a lot of time doing that. How do you balance your personal life with your business and your other job that you do at the window place, especially now that you are married?
I think it would be a good question for my husband because I don't feel like I balance it very well. Or that's what he would say. But I see, like for me, I just keep thinking that for now it's seasonal. And so I'm like, in the winter, I will have so much free time. Like, I love to do things like during the winter months and have a lot of fun and go on vacations and stuff like that, because I know that during the summer, I won't have time for that. I really do enjoy alone time. Hence why I usually don't take people up on their offers to help me, because unless they can work alone, and I can't really trust them to do that, I want to be alone in my garden, unless my dad's there, but he does his thing and I do my thing. I just love to listen to a podcast or to an audiobook and just like work away. Like, I will listen to hours of audio, hours of podcasts. So I don't know. I don't really balance it very well. Usually I'm just surviving, but that's okay.
So what does a typical day look like for you on a farm, like on your flower farm? And
Typical day.
what do you prioritize? Like, when you get there, these are my things to do, like on the day.
So for me, really what I prioritize, this is, I think, I put everything in their categories. There are things to do. Everything is kind of like a mountain. What mountain am I going to tackle today? Well, so what I have decided in my own life is the mountains that I will always tackle first are the mountains that are going to make me money. So I will always harvest flowers and create bouquets first thing first, because that is what's going to create me money. And then I go through and like deadhead and stuff because I need more flowers, because more flowers makes me more money. It's kind of like the idea of like profit first. You have to think about that. So really, that's how I choose my days. And so weeding comes last, and that's why Dad ends up doing all my weeding.
How has your marriage influenced your perspective on running a business?
I'm married.
Yes. Has it like?
I've been married for this much time, and my flowers has been this much. So I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Why has been the changes though? Like,
The changes. I can't work as late as I used to. I used to work until like 10:30, 11 every night. And now it's like, I try to be done by like 7:30 or 8 p.m. And that's really like my hope. Like, I used to say that I give myself 5 years to start my business to the point that that's all I do. And next year will be my 5th year. I don't think that I will still be doing my business only full time. I really wish I was, but so because of that, because I work at another business, my business has to come in the in-betweens, like maybe running out there in the morning to turn on the water, or to go cut some flowers and then come into my office job for a while, going out there in the evening, going out there on Saturdays. And I know my husband hates that. He hates that I work on Saturdays, but it comes with the job. Like, I'm like, I might not love it either. Actually, I don't mind it, but it is what it is. And if I was doing my business full time, I would love to have Saturdays as an off day, unless it's weddings. But yeah.
How do you and your husband support each other as you both pursue individual goals, especially him supporting you to your...
I don't know how he supports me. How do you support me?
Do you feel like he supports you though?
Not always, actually, if I'm honest. He doesn't understand how hard it is. I think he's learning now. Sometimes he's like, oh, you should just not do flowers. I'm like, that makes me so sad. But yeah, I do believe like he does try. I believe he does try. You can cut that question out because I mean, like, yes, because like, I know you try to, like, but some days you don't understand. You're just like, just stop doing flowers. And that's okay that you think that. It's not bad.
All right, let's take 5 and we'll be back short. Yep, let's...
This podcast is proudly sponsored by The Window Place. We build our windows to meet your unique needs, combining quality craftsmanship with personalized service. Whether you're renovating or building new, we have the perfect solutions for you.
So we're back. Let's talk about lessons and advice for inspiring other entrepreneurs. I know you have girls that are younger than you, but they want to pursue your career, like going into business like you did. What advice would you give to someone who's thinking about starting a passion project like a flower farm?
Don't let what other people say stop you. Also, don't go to Instagram. There's all sorts of info out there that will most likely not work for you. Like, they will say, do it like this, do it like that, don't do it like this, don't do it like that. Just plug your ears and do what you think is going to be best for you. Because what works for one person doesn't work for another. And also, just because your friends aren't buying your product, don't let that stop you either. Keep pursuing, keep selling. Someone will buy it.
Are there any mistakes you've made that turned out to be valuable lessons?
I make lots of mistakes, and probably lots of them are valuable lessons. Oh, yes. For instance, last year, a big mistake I made is when I went, like dahlia tubers, like you have to dig your dahlias up every year. I was trying a new method, so I washed them all, and I did not dry them properly. I should have dried them for like a couple days out on a wire rack, and I did not. I washed them 3 hours later, put them into vermiculite totes, and this year I had almost a complete fail on dahlia tubers. Do not store your dahlia tubers wet or damp. They will go to nothing. Big loss.
If you could go back and tell yourself one thing before studying Blossom and Root Design, what would it be?
It's going to be hard, but it's going to be worth it.
That's good. Let's talk about the future. What are your future goals for Blossom and Root Design? I know you talked a little bit about it, about having it as a full-time job.
My future goal is to only be doing my flowers. There's lots of things that will have to go into place for that, but I dream of doing that as a full-time job, then taking like a little winter break, like taking a few months, because flowers really are burnout, because they're the type of thing that you have to harvest everything. So like you have to harvest a lot of things one day, or the next day you can't sell it, so it's like constant harvest for a lot of things, because you were losing money if like you have to constantly be harvesting, and so it can really be a burnout. But my goal is to like be able to do that full time, not have to worry about corporate world things anymore, and just have my flowers, raise some little babies, have them running between the rows. And I know they'll probably pull out flowers and stuff, but that's what comes with territory of children. So,
do you see yourself expanding?
Yes, I see myself expanding the business in so many ways.
So is there a dream project that you'd love to tackle?
Yes, I would love to buy land and get a couple grants, put in some hoop houses. I really need to figure out the world of grants and stuff, because there is lots of stuff that I could get grants for. And like I would love to like trial things for the state, for our state of growers. Like I would love to be the person who like trials, so does this do good? Like overwintering it here, do these grow well here? Under what circumstances of soil were they? I would love to do things like that. And because there's a flower farmer from New York that does that a lot, and she gets grants for all that stuff. So I would love to get into the world of grants, get some hoop houses, get lots of peonies, lots of roses. I would love to grow lots of roses.
Good. Let's go to the fun and fun questions that I have for you, and I'm just curious about them.
Okay.
If you could work on a dream floral arrangement for any event or client, what would it be?
I wish that I had a very rich bride that would come to me and she would tell me, do whatever you want. Here's $50,000.
Good.
Do whatever you want. I would do arbors. I would do hanging installations. I would use expensive flowers that I don't ever get to use. I would use lots of roses, like garden roses, not your red roses from the grocery store or from the flower shop. I would use real English garden roses.
What's your favorite flower to work with, and what does it symbolize for you?
You know, I don't like the question. They're all my favorite. They all have different things. But, so, in the spring I love tulips, because to me tulips symbolize the start of a beautiful season, because they're the first things that bloom after a winter. So I love tulips because it's just like reminding us that better days are coming. But then during the season, I really love snapdragons. I will plant beds and beds of those. They smell so yummy. They last so long. And I love to show kids that they can talk. So if you like pinch it's just so much fun. Also love lisianthus for like the late summer, and then dahlias for the fall. I don't know, I love them all. I can't say which ones.
Yeah. So Amy, it's been inspiring hearing your story. Is there any final thoughts or advice you'd like to share with whomever will listen to this? All young people that are trying to go into flower business like you did.
Don't be afraid to try something new. Pinch those plants. Good advice. Pinch those plants. Even if you're not a flower farmer, even if you're just like have a little garden with flowers, but you want to cut them for yourself, pinch those flowers. If you pinch them, you will get so many more stems. Also keep cutting them, because the more you cut them, the taller the stems grow, the more flowers you have. So pinch them plants, period.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here with us today. We are excited to see how Blossom and Root Design continues to grow, and hopefully we can visit you at your farm when the flowers are blooming again.
Yes, yeah, because 2024 season is about to close.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes.